Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live stream for what are we into? The second week of June. So it's getting really exciting now. Sports are coming back. New Zealand is just about completely, if not completely, off coronavirus restrictions, which is brilliant. It's been a little bit amusing though to think just because to listen to the commentary that just because New Zealand are coming off very strong restrictions, that so should we in Australia. And those two things are actually unrelated. The reason that New Zealand is coming off those restrictions is because they've got no coronavirus for the last 14 days, new cases. So that's why they're coming off the restrictions. For us, we're a long way. We're actually quite away from that. So we're coming off slowly. And what that means is people are starting to come back to our clubs to be training non-competitive, and that's really exciting. But what we're finding is that there's actually been quite a lot of conflict as people are coming back into the clubs, and the requirements that the clubs are putting on their players, their parents, their members as they come in, there's been quite a lot of pushback, right? And there's quite a lot of really challenging conflict at club level. And I mean quite a lot. It's been disturbing at how often we're hearing that come through from clubs. And the clubs are saying, how do we make sure that we don't have this conflict? And the key to that is 9 times out of 10, conflict is created by when someone's experience is different to what they expected it to be. Right? This is really important. Typically, conflict is created because someone's experience is different to what they expected it to be. People, they know about corona and they know about the lockdowns, et cetera, but they're not expecting the significant changes that have happened at their club. And we're hearing about all this, well, we're unwinding things, shopping centres are full, and so the feedback from the people when they come to the clubs is, oh, this is ridiculous, and bang, off we go. And so, but how do we make sure that people's reality and their expectations are the same? And the key is to communicate about what the experience is going to be like when they get to the club, right? So communicate strongly. And look how one club did it, very simple post, and look at the difference in the reaction of them. So let me just bring up this club at Beaconsfield Netball Club, and I'll just make my screen a little bit bigger. Whoop, too big, sorry. Very poor technique. And so the Beaconsfield, and this is just a couple of days ago, the committee were hard at it last night before training, setting up so our players could get back on the courts. Correct signage, sanitizer stands, barriers, social distancing was all in place to ensure we are abiding by the current guidelines and regulations. So really clever. They're setting the expectation, but also saying, hey, it's not us. It's the way we've got to operate. It was great to see our girls go back to training. We have everything crossed off, everything crossed that our season will go ahead. And so when we look at it, they've done a lot of work. They've got single lane in, single exit in, single exit out, clearly marked barriers so you can't cut across, so barriered. And that would be quite confronting for people going, well, why are you doing that? That's ridiculous, right? Exit this way, can't come in that way. So barriers up, so controlling the flow. Signage up. If you feel unwell, do not attend. Excuse me. And so those signage, all that signage can be accessed by the Sport Australia toolkit. So we can just Google Sport Australia Back to Sport toolkit and all those signs are there. So again, you're setting the expectation. But by putting it on their Facebook post, taking photos, they're setting people up and knowing exactly what the experience is like, keeping people separated as they come in. Really focusing on this get in, get out, train, get in, get out, no showers, no changing, no socializing. And so look at the response. If I just get out of that, look at the response from the people. Great job, everybody. Well done to all involved. Great to be back. Great work by the committee. Congratulations on the committee for making members safe. All the hours, calls, Zoom meetings have been worth it. Thanks to the guys and girls for making sure we are ready and we're pumped. So see how the world changed, the thoughts and the feelings of the members changed because we communicated out. And so now and when we think about community sport, having barriers and signage saying, hey, if you're not at a certain health level, you can't even come in. These are all very foreign. They're very confronting. And people potentially are thinking, New Zealand's unwinding, South Australia's unwinding a little bit. We're all unwinding a little bit from the very harsh restrictions. But the key is for us, we've got to make sure that there's no second wave, that there's no club clusters. So this is vitally important. This is not unnecessary. This is just crucially important. But what we don't want to do, club volunteers have worked harder than they ever have in the last 10 weeks. And it's great that in the Beaconsfield Netball Club, their members are giving that feedback that we appreciate that work. We don't want the volunteers to experience conflict and confrontation as people come back just because their expectations and their realities are different. We want people to be thankful for the work that the volunteers have done, not really upset by it. So great work by the clubs that are doing it. Simone and Deb, thanks for being online and watching. Simone, every morning, I really appreciate that. I always know that there'll at least be one person there. I do apologise. I didn't actually turn up yesterday and realise long weekend, away with the family, actually no internet, but was never going to do it on a long weekend, but I forgot to tell everybody that we weren't doing it. So my apologies for that. So we'll, again, lots of guests this week. Nigel Smart from the Adelaide Crows in Esport Friday. We will continue to bring people from sport. Okay, Chris, welcome to you as well, up in sunny Queensland. From memory. People from sport sharing their knowledge, their experiences, their little tips as how we can all get back into sport safely. So until tomorrow, I'm Steve Pallas, and thank you for being part of our sports community. And as normal, I've lost my little cursor and I will end the broadcast now. So, so look forward to tomorrow where we'll continue to bring just little snippets of information of examples of clubs that are just doing things that we can learn from positively and negatively. So until tomorrow, I will see you then.